please remain standing as Toshaos of Paramakatoy, Toshaos Stephen and Ancestors will now lead us in prayer in the Patamonan language, after which we will all say our national pledge.
Let's all pray. Nya gajbune ebumbong tinggi de nyaya selego lema. Nya makosakaya ne pesang perianya toke. Nya pune masakaya memang na toke. Tinggi de sele nyaya selebe nya ne bili pesang sele modak. Tinggi de nyaya sele tam na orongong nya ko ne kasakaya ne pesang. Tiba ada ne turombe manmu turombe ye matok mula kawle nya insakaya tinggi kurugayat selego lemanne. Nyane pilih pesang te bulu yang pogombe mulai tinggi dia selenya ya merebek nyai matok ke nyai boleh masak kaya bek nyai pada ke nyai boleh mau ya nyai podol yang ke nyai boleh masak kaya bek tinggi neganya selekok lemah kejbuni tinggi kuru kayat nyai boleh masak kaya pesang selekala nyai tope te bulu be tokwe tope nyai boleh masak kaya pesang nyai yang zakau ye ke be kuru zendok padok yau nyai boleh marok kaya yau nyai masak kaya pesang selekok lemah nere masa jinya biak ke selekok lemak. Nyai pana marok nyai selu barok. Nyai elu barok nyai podol yang kuya. Menaik pulema ke selebi. Sele jinong gawia myak ke bunu. Masa jema le peyingge tiak kuya ke. Mulai nyai tanah tok kuya ya wele. Tokira nam benele nyai tope nyai pulema ke tam nawle. Sele moda nyai pilih cakna kya wele. Mulai se kya selekok lemak. Wage kulu ayak kali yau. Bukai bunu heaven bong. Amen.
I pledge myself to honor always the flag of Guyana and to be loyal to my country, to be obedient to the laws of Guyana, to love my fellow citizens, and to dedicate my energies towards the happiness and prosperity of Guyana. Thank you. Please be seated. Your Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Guyana, Honorable Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, Prime Minister, Honorable Pauline Sukai, Minister of Amerindian Affairs, and other Honorable Ministers of Cabinet and Members of Parliament, PSs and heads of agencies, heads of the joint services, members of the Diplomatic Corps, regional leaders, Chairman of the NTC, Toshaos Derek John, and other members of the executive, other village Toshaos, senior councillors, CDC chairs, and other conference delegates, special invitees, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good morning, Halikuba, Kaiman Pogar. Welcome to the opening ceremony of the National Toshaos Council Conference 2025. Let's give ourselves a round of applause as we gather on this beautiful Monday morning. We gather under the theme, Robust Governance for Sustainable Village Development, a powerful call to continue to lead with strength, vision, and unity. And this conference comes at a proud moment, just days before Guyana celebrates her 59th year of independence. And we honor this milestone. We recognize that the strength of our nation lies in every Guyanese, in our shared commitment to safeguard our sovereign land, to uphold our dignity, and build a future where no village, no Guyanese is left behind. And to ensure that this week is more than a meeting, we invite a pillar of Indigenous leadership and unity, Chairman of the NTC and Toshaos of Moraikabai, Toshaos Derek John, for welcoming remarks.
His Excellency, President of the Republic of Guyana, members of the National Toshaos Council, fellow Toshaos, senior councils, Prime Minister, Honorable Mark Phillips, Minister of Amerindian Affairs, Pauline Sukai, other members of the cabinet, PSs of the various ministries, heads of the various agencies, members of the diplomatic corps, Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Commissioner of Police of Guyana Police Force, regional officials, members of the media, staff of the Ministry of Marine Affairs and the National Toshaos Council, special invitees, ladies and gentlemen, indeed it's an honor yet to welcome you to another National Toshaos Council Conference 2024. 2025, sorry for that. Seems like I'm living 1 year behind. So many things are happening, but thanks for the correction. As we gathered this week under the theme, Robust Governance for Sustainable Development, indeed, this is a very dynamic theme that we all will be gathering here and discussing issues, challenges, and successes that is affecting our villages. I want to take this opportunity in breaking down this theme because I think it speaks volume for us as leaders. So we start with the first word, robust. What's robust? It means strong, diligent. So I think that as leaders, we have to be strong, we have to be diligent, we have to be very effective, and I believe there that as long as we possess these qualities, it will allow us to execute our mandate in a very efficient way. But then again, the second word, governance. It is a framework that is used to control or dictate an organization. And it speaks again to us as indigenous leaders. We must have a framework there to govern our people so that we can be able to lead and lead in an effective way. Sustainable, and a key word here. Sustainable, it's a process where we will use to manage our resources that it will not hinder future generations, but it will be able to allow them so they also can benefit from what we are benefiting today. So the many resources that we are having are in our possession, in our villages, in our communities, we have to use it in a sustainable way so that it can drive village development. Development, and it's a process of change from one stage to another. And this is what we have been seeing right across our communities and more so our country, from the coastland to the hinterland. Right across Guyana, we have seen changes not only in the landscape, but in the skyscape, in the waterscape, and every sector we are seeing dramatic changes are taking place, and indigenous peoples are not left behind. So, Mr. President, I want to take this opportunity in thanking you and your government for allowing us this opportunity that we can come here this week and we can be able to report to you of your generosity of allowing these budgetary allocations filtering into our Amerindian communities that is making a change to our people. But also we want to thank you for the annual subvention that your government have set aside, that we can have this conference on an annual basis. And I think there that this makes Guyana a very unique country. Nowhere in the world we have this opportunity. And I want to ask you leaders to appreciate this unique opportunity that we as indigenous people experience here in Guyana. It's happening nowhere across the entire globe, where we can sit and we can deliberate with His Excellency and all cabinet members, different sector agencies, and we can be able to bring to the forefront issues that are affecting our people. And so I want to encourage all of us here this week that we make good use of this 5 days that we'll be deliberating here in this Doom to make an imprint, and so that we can be able to continue to pursue the right and development path that we are experiencing. I think there that Guyana presently are experiencing one of the most exciting periods in our country's history. There are so many resources that are filtering out directly into indigenous communities. And I had the opportunity to visit a lot of our hinterland communities. I'm amazed. And that speaks volume for us. Because a lot of times, people are accusing the National Toshaos Council that, we allow organizations to dictate for us. And that's an insult to our intelligence. And I want to make this very crystal clear, that indigenous people, we practice and we have a right to self-determination. And that's what we have been doing for ages. So no one don't have to come and tell us what is best for us. We know what is good for us. We know the challenges that we are facing in our community, and we know how to put mechanisms in place to mitigate those challenges. And so, no one don't have to twist our arms. So I want to call out on the various media houses that that are publishing some really disturbing articles. And it's not good. We got to be more mature. When we reporting, we got to be more accurate in our reporting. I also want to use this opportunity in calling out all political parties. We have to be more mature and be more civilized. We have seen for the past month or 2 months or so, we have seen the disturbance that is taking place. And these things are affecting, because when you have to block a main passageway, like in Linden, blocking bridges, what is doing to our indigenous community in hinterland areas? When you have to block public roads that everyone have to use on a daily basis, what are you doing to our fellow Guyanese, and especially indigenous brothers and sisters? So I'm using this opportunity there that political parties, if you have an issue, there's a way that you need to deal with it, and not to disrupt other people's lives. I think, and hope I'm not usurping my authority here, but I think that this year, 2025, is where our country will be going to the polls. And I hope that as political parties and organizations will be starting up their campaign, they do it in a professional way. And indigenous peoples have the right to choose whatever political party they want to support. And we know we are not living in Stone Age anymore. We are living in a modern age where education is accessible from nursery to secondary in all indigenous communities. So we are learned people. We know what is good for us, and nobody should able to come and tell us who we should vote for or who we should not vote for. We have that ability to choose. We also recognize what we are experiencing. We are not dumb people anymore. We have seen, we have experienced, we have realized we are benefiting from so much of benefits and resources. And it's only right that we continue to support this path, this progress, this transformation. And I'm appealing to you, my fellow indigenous leaders, let us allow good sense to prevail. I also want to call on the international community. We have seen the reckless threat from our western neighbor, Venezuela. And I'm calling out there that we need the international community to stand by our side, and so that we can allow the legal process to take its course. Guyana is a sovereign nation, and I know that these threats, it's driving fear in a lot of our communities, that especially those are on the border region, Mr. President. And I know that you are very updated, and I know that you have a plan. We have confidence in your government that you will continue to protect every single Guyanese. And we want to thank you, and we trust your government, Mr. President. Once again, I want to thank everyone for being here this morning with us. And I want to encourage all of us to make good use of time. I know that it's over 254 communities that are seated here, and so we have to respect our time, that when we are allotted to speak, and so that we can be able to manage, and so everyone will have the opportunity to speak. And I don't want person to have the wrong interpretation. We are not denying anyone to raise your concern, but you have to think about your brother and your sister. They also have concerns. So I want you to let us make this conference a success. Let us make this dialogue that we will be experiencing here a meaningful dialogue with respect to each and every single person. Once again, Mr. President, I want to thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, NTC Chair Toshaos John. Indeed, leaders, do make this week a defining moment for all of your villages, for all of Guyana, because, as Toshaos said, all of Guyana belongs to us, the people of Guyana. It is ours to protect, to nurture, and to build together. We couldn't have an NTC without showcasing our culture, because it tells our story best. So at this time, please welcome the vibrant Kada cultural group from the North Rupununi for a performance that reflects the rhyme and rhythm of our roots and the pride of our people. It will begin with prayers to our ancestors, then a call for continued dialogue and partnerships to continue the transformative work ongoing in the indigenous communities. The Kada culture group from the North Rupununi.
Pia, Miarmang Tunurungong, Anisha Dane, Amuru Congreta Tushwalamu, President Sama, Minister Samu, Charompa Bongong, Miarumang Tabuay, Manarupra, Anatashim Sanening, Kushiamu, Injodamu, Pusorman Koinja, Consurum Lunki, and Tabenko Yom Kong, Mazabra, Magihe Tanambumang, Muritabuay, Kushia, Tunurishima, Murunkin Enung Kong, Manung bay yong kung. Bibi mriksane, ayu dong kuyatane. Bibi mriksane, ayu dong kenyatane. Bibi mriksane, bibi mriksane, bibi mriksane, bibi mriksane, bibi mriksane, bibi mriksane, bibi mriksane. Mana mai ko yang pong. Uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, kono rong kong kong busy. President tamu kombe, charo babong kombe, Toshaos tamu kombe, sor mambai kong, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, kono rong kong kong busy. President tamu kombe, minister tamu kombe, Toshaos tamu kombe, sor mambai kong, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, kono rong kong kong busy. President tamu kombe, minister tamu kombe, Toshaos tamu kombe, sor mambai kong, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, kono rong kong kong busy. President tamu kombe, charo babong kombe, Toshaos tamu kombe, sor mambai kong, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, kono rong kong kong busy. President tamu kombe, minister tamu kombe, Toshaos tamu kombe, sor mambai kong, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, uru kong yu isha mang, kono rong kong kong busy. My dear friends, my plea today, when I said, Tu Nurishima Mrunkin and Kong, Toshaos, where there is unity, there is strength. Together we stand, divided we fall. I call upon one and all today to be a one Guyana people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kara. Cultural group leader Glendon Alicock. That performance was in the Makushi language. It was choreographed by Abigail Buckley. On the keyboard, Garville Daniels. And the Kada culture group members come from Surama, Rupert and Wawetta. Let's give them another round of applause as we move along with the opening ceremony of the NTC Conference 2025 at this part of the program. And NTC Chair mentioned how important it is for us to keep and to honor our time. So I'll ask our leaders, we'll put the spotlight on you briefly now so we see where you are and the regions you're from. So we'll begin with inviting the leaders from Region 1, Toshaos and senior councillors to stand so we can recognize you in the room today. Our Region 1 leaders, Toshaos, CDC chairs, senior councillors. Thank you. Region number 2. Let's keep the applause going for all of our leaders. We'll take our other coastal regions together, regions 3, 4, 5, 6, because you are respective, one for each. So where are our Toshaos regions 3, 4, 5, and 6. We continue, thank you. Region number 7. We continue with the roll call. Region number 8. Region 9. And Region 10. Our Toshaos always come uniformed. Our youngest Toshao today is from Taushida in Region 9. He's 20, Toshao Kelvin Isaacs. He got up just now. Let's see you again, Toshao, so we can recognize you as our youngest Toshao. And they stood earlier, but we have to make special mention of our female Toshaos and senior councillors. We'll ask that you stand again, our female Toshaos, senior councillors, CDC chairs, so we see you in the room. And we'll ask the NTC executive to stand, so we'll recognize you once more. NTC executive, they are our hosts, along with the Minister of Amerindian Affairs, for the conference today. Thank you very much. On we go with the opening ceremony. We've seen all of our leaders, and now we are going to present a tireless woman leader in Guyana, tireless advocate for Indigenous development, fresh back from leading the team at the 24th session of the UN Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues in New York. Please welcome Honorable Minister Pauline Sukai, Minister of Amerindian Affairs.
Thank you, Mrs. Michelle. Abraham Ali, His Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Honorable Brigadier Retired Mark Anthony Phillips, Prime Minister. In his absence, Dr. Barrett Jagdeo, Vice President of our country, colleague ministers of government, and members of Parliament, the Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, the Commissioner of Police, Guyana Police Force, Toshao Derek John, Chairman of the National Toshaos Council, the Executive of the National Toshaos Council, members of the Diplomatic Corps, technical officers of government and various agencies, regional chairs and regional officials, members of the media, and most importantly, all the Amerindian leaders gathered here from across the length and breadth of Guyana. It is with great pleasure that I join the National Toshaos Council in warmly welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the National Toshaos Council Conference 2025. Last night, I recognized the strength and the resilience and the trek and the journey you made to be here in Georgetown. This is a statutory mandated meeting, the importance of which cannot be overstated. Guyana has been a leader in inclusivity and engagement with our First People. And this conference is a timeless testament to that. This meeting of Amerindian leaders and the government to engage on development matters has consistently produced tangible outcomes for sustainable development in Amerindian communities and villages. This forum underscores the consistent effort of the People's Progressive Party civic government, adhering to the principle of free, prior, and informed consent. The conversation and dialogue that takes place here have reaped many benefits for Amerindian villages and hinterland communities, while at the same time enabling the progressive development path our government has embarked upon under the astute leadership and vision of His Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali. This conference also provides meaningful opportunities to raise challenges and to discuss solutions faced by villages and communities, while also highlighting your village and community development agendas and priorities. I urge you to ensure that the sessions are interactive and consultative. This is your space. This is your time to voice your progress and even your setbacks, so together with the government we can learn, grow, and build together. Guyana has been the first to achieve many things in advocating indigenous rights, not only regionally but globally. We are proud that this conference is one of those first. There are few, if any, other countries where the highest office of the land sits and crafts development policies in direct partnership with their indigenous population. While others are still fighting for a voice, we in Guyana have amplified that voice. As such, we must recognize that with a politically strong and stable government, it is much easier for progress to be advanced in your villages and community, and this nation as well. The National Toshaos Council is a legitimately elected voice of all indigenous people in Guyana. It has clear mandate that is outlined in our Progressive Amerindian Act of 2006. As a government, we are proud of our strong and inclusive partnership with the National Toshaos Council and all of indigenous peoples. The People's Progressive Party civic government maintains an open-door policy and welcome your continued dialogue. This is evidenced by the 200% increase in subvention to the NTC over the past 2 years and the construction of a secretariat from which the serious business of the Council is administered. This year's theme, Robust Governance for Sustainable Development, it is a timely one. It is a reminder that only through assiduous and accountable governance will we achieve sustainable development. I urge that every member of the National Toshaos Council take this mandate with utmost seriousness, hold one another accountable, and promote robust, transparent leadership. In our Guyana, in our one Guyana, Amerindian peoples occupy a special place as our first people. It brings me great pleasure to reassure you that this People's Progressive Party civic administration always has our Amerindian people at heart. This conference is being held. This conference is being held in the 5th year of the People's Progressive Party civic government in office. And of course, it is an election year, recognizing with gratitude the role Amerindians played in providing full support to our government during the 5 years in advancing democracy and development, resulting in a strong and solid relationship between you and the government. Not many countries enjoy this level of friendship with their indigenous people. It is also public knowledge that the People's Progressive Party has fulfilled all its manifesto promises for Amerindian and hinterland development. The People's Progressive Party civic government aim has always been to promote sustainable development while ensuring our First People can design their own unique roadmap for local growth. Our policies and laws support self-determination and self-sufficient governance. Our initiative preserves and celebrates the rich cultural heritage of Amerindian peoples while equipping them to thrive in a fast-paced world. These projects, approved and implemented in accordance with the principle of free, prior, and informed consent, are designed at the village level through general meetings where every resident has the right to participate and to vote. This process has supported the advancement of projects identified in your village sustainable plans, ensuring transparent and sustainable development. Guyana's low-carbon development strategy is transformative. Since returning to office and after extensive national consultation, the government expanded the LCDS 2009 to LCDS 2030. Your endorsement of this strategy has led to the direct payment of 9.6 billion of all sales from carbon credits to Amerindian and hinterland communities. These investments demonstrate our unwavering commitment to economic growth within your villages and resource management initiatives. Internationally, we have advocated for the rights and recognition of indigenous communities by member states, which are not yet addressing fully UN DRIP. At the same time, we continue to share globally Guyana's experience. We are proud to include indigenous peoples as equal partners in addressing climate change and environmental issues, both nationally and internationally, something which many states continues to ignore. Land rights have always been a priority for the People's Progressive Party civic government. While some unscrupulous person may attempt to mislead the indigenous population on this issue, I remind you that both NGOs and the NTC are represented on the Oversight Committee for the land titling and on the LCDS 2030, the Multi-Stakeholder Committee. Our government continues to actively engage in the land titling and demarcation processes. Amerindians also account for 10% of our population, currently owning 16.4% of Guyana land mass, being the second largest private landowner in our country. These goals are rooted in the Amerindian Act of 2006, which we are currently reviewing. The review process has been inclusive and transparent, founded on free and fair consent and broad stakeholder engagements. Leaders, on the matter of district council, we are all aware of attempts by so-called advocates to manipulate the law when creating district councils without regards to FPIC. In a similar way, they have attended international fora without seeking an engagement with the National Toshaos Council prior to their attendance, claiming to be the voice of Guyana's indigenous people. This is an effort to control your voices. I urge you to stand on the side of law and principle. You should not be used at someone else's convenience. District councils, unlike the National Toshaos Councils, are optional by law. They may be created. We will ensure that where they are created or established, it is done legally and with proper due diligence. We have received multiple complaints of unlawful attempts to create such councils without village approval. These councils will only be gazetted when they comply fully with the law. Leaders, through collaboration, we've improved access to education, healthcare, and basic services in remote areas. We've built and renovated schools, bridging the gaps between the coast and the hinterland. Our PPP civic government administration is committed to preserving Amerindian cultural heritage. We've supported cultural activities, traditional crafts, and indigenous languages. September, designated for Amerindian Heritage Month, is a national celebration. This year, 202 million has been allocated for heritage celebration. We look forward to celebrating our heritage with you and all of Guyana. We acknowledge that there still remains much work to be done on our path to development for women, for youths, and for the further transformation of the village economies. Undoubtedly, challenges persist. Let us move forward united, addressing the issues that matter most to our indigenous villages and communities. As I close my remarks to you this morning, leaders, I wish to remind you that the People's Progressive Party civic government remains committed to supporting and empowering Amerindian peoples. We will continue to invest in economic projects, infrastructure, education, healthcare, cultural preservation. Together, With you as equal partners, we will continue to build a society where every citizen has equal opportunity to contribute to the development of our strong and great nation. I extend my deepest gratitude to the National Toshaos Council and councillors, community leaders, and residents, and all partners on this transformative journey. Together, we are shaping a nation where every Amerindian person can thrive, traditions are honored, and the future is prosperous. The only way we can do it is together, and your government stands ready to work with you. Let us continue to build our One Guyana and thrive. I thank you, and I wish you a successful and productive conference as you take this opportunity to engage and interact with His Excellency and his cabinet on matters related to your continued development. Finally, a warm welcome again to Georgetown. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Pauline Sukai, Minister of Amerindian Affairs. It is now time for another cultural presentation. This time it's a dance fusion performed by the Riverside Angels, the National Dance Company, and Burbee's Delights, showcasing our diversity, our rich multicultural heritage, and shared identity as one unified Guyana, as envisioned by our President, as we proudly celebrate 59 years, presenting a dance fusion. Yes, this is the opportunity to showcase Guyana with good vibes, good energy. Remember, we copped the Travel Award for Destination of the Year again. We had it last year and we were able to cop it again this year. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. And of course, we recognize Tourism Minister of the Year again. ecological tourism this year, Minister Unij Waldron. So congratulations to you, and a reminder to all of us to ensure that we fly the golden arrowhead high in celebration of our heritage in this 83,000 square miles that belong to all of us. As we start a new tradition this year, Flag Day, we will display our national flag in our homes, in our schools, in our businesses and public spaces. We head to Anna Regina for the National Patriotic Concert on Saturday, the National Flag Raising Ceremony for our independence at Albion Ground, and all of the regions will have their programs as well, as we celebrate patriotism, love for country, and the enduring spirit of our people. To present our next distinguished speaker, I now invite Aisha de Freitas from Rupenau Village and a grade 10 Hinterland Scholarship student attending Queen's College. Please welcome Aisha de Freitas.
Respected leaders of the indigenous communities, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am honored and privileged to introduce a leader whose dedication to national service and visionary leadership has propelled Guyana into a new era of transformation and progress. His Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, is not only a statesman, but also a scholar, holding a doctorate in urban and regional planning and multiple degrees in management, human resource planning and development, project management, finance, and law, among others. Since assuming office, President Ali has guided our country through a period of unprecedented economic growth. His leadership is marked by an unwavering focus on inclusive development, environmental stewardship, and the empowerment of every Guyanese, especially our indigenous brothers and sisters. His policies reflect a deep commitment to equity, cultural preservation, and the advancement of indigenous rights. As we gather for the National Toshaos Council Conference 2025, we do so with the privilege of being guided by a leader who values unity, partnership, and mutual respect. He understands that the strength of our nation lies in the strength of its people, united, diverse, resilient, and united. Please rise and join me in welcoming His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
Thank you very much. Very kindly, please have your seats. Our dear Prime Minister, Vice President, members of Cabinet, members of the diplomatic community, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of our the leadership of our men and women in uniform, and most importantly, you, the leaders of our villages and communities across the country. Today, once again, we gather to listen to your voices, to understand your challenges, to appreciate your specific circumstances, and through your individual voices as leaders of your communities, the collective voice of all our indigenous people across this country. That is what the NTC brings, the collective voice of all our indigenous peoples across this country. Today I welcome you to a space and an environment that is listening, one that you can trust, not only to listen to you, but one that you can trust to deliver to you. This government has consistently demonstrated that we don't only listen, we consistently deliver on what we promise. And that is important. It is important to know that you have leadership that is respectful enough to honor its commitment to you, respectful enough to stay true to its commitment to you. And whilst the road to full prosperity is still being built, whilst the road to ensure that we maximize the land allocation that can be allocated to our Amerindian communities, while the road to great prosperity for all the people and all the villages is still being constructed and will continue to be constructed, we cannot afford to lose any momentum. We cannot afford to gamble with this road to prosperity. We cannot afford to lose sight of what is important for you, your communities, and your village. And I assure you that this People's Progressive Party civic government that I proudly stand and represent here would never ever abandon that road of prosperity for you and your villages. On behalf of all of you, I want to thank our men and women in uniform who are at our borders, defending all of our sovereignty and territorial integrity. I want you to give them a resounding round of applause so they can know that we are with them in love and spirit. But importantly too, I want to thank all of you, especially those who live on the border communities, for your vigilance, for your vigilance, for your strong protection, for your patriotism, for your strength of character, for you who stand up every day on the border, raising our golden arrowhead high and strong. And on this note, I want to thank also those of our international partners who stand strong with us, who are vocal in their support for us, who are vocal in their support for the rule of law and international order, who are vocal in their support for peace. You hold a special place in the heart of Guyana and every Guyanese. Let me also recognize the enormous transformation. And sometimes when we speak about transformation, we can get carried away only looking at physical things. But only a few days ago or 2 weeks ago, we had in Guyana one of the region's largest fashion designer showcase. And 30% of all our national designers were Amerindians, were our indigenous people. That is not strange, because Guyana knows about your creativity. Guyana knows about your creativity. But because of the investment and the opportunities that are now available to you, you are putting that creativity to work and you are leading from the very front, and I congratulate all of you. This space, this National Toshaos Conference belongs to all of you. This is your space. We, your servant leaders, are here to listen to you in your space. We are not seasonal, we are your constant. We are not opportunistic, we are your everyday, as you are our everyday. There is not a single cabinet meeting where some issue concerning our indigenous people is not addressed. There is not a single meeting of the People's Progressive Party leadership in which the concerns of indigenous peoples are not raised and addressed. For a matter of fact, as a single group, you occupy a significant space in the leadership of the People's Progressive Party. But not only a space, significant contributions are made. So every sphere of this government life, at the political party level, at the cabinet level, at the government level, your views, your ideas, and your concerns are represented robustly. Today, we salute not only the architect of the first LCDS, and also the great leader and contributor to LCDS 2030, our Vice President, and also you, the leaders, because the greatest contribution to the LCDS came from you, the Amerindian leaders and people, because we did it through consultation with you. We did it by honoring your intellectual ability, your cultural position, your sustainable ideas. We did it by engagement with you. I also want to honor the LCDS Secretariat and the team that work diligently every single day to ensure we maximize the benefits of the LCDS. Today, we are expanding the LCDS to include biodiversity as is in the LCDS 2030. And Guyana will be hosting the first Global Biodiversity Alliance right here in Guyana, where once again, you, the leaders of our indigenous community, will have an opportunity to showcase to the world what sustainable development really feels like, look like, and mean. You will have an opportunity to demonstrate once again what constitutes sustainable development. We in this government are committed not only to the expansion of our economy, but importantly, we are committed to the expansion of opportunities in every village, in every single corner of our country. We want expanded opportunities. We want to assure you that this and successive People's Progressive Party civic government will continue to advance Amerindian land titling, will continue to maintain the value, the nominal value of the LCDS resources that will be transferred to your communities under your own management. We will continue to create more job opportunities. And you know you can trust us with that. Not only have we reinstated the CSOs, but we have created new businesses, new entrepreneurs, nurses, doctors, teachers, lawyers over the last 4 years. And you can depend on us to continue along this pathway. We've invested in technology, connectivity, and you can depend on us to continue this investment for you. My dear friends, leaders, my respected leaders, you can be assured that under successive People's Progressive Party civic government, we'll invest to ensure there's food security in your villages. We'll expand production. We'll invest in food security. We'll invest in financial empowerment, not only by increasing grants, subsidies, and other direct financial transfers to your community, but through economic literacy, through financial literacy, and through the creation of various initiatives that will enable you in your villages to earn more, to be empowered, and to create great opportunity, just like we're doing now with the cage farming, the fish farming, the honey production. You are part of a revolution in the agricultural sector. The spices, new investment in coffee, cocoa, high-valued commodities. We are going to partner with you. A continued social transformation in health, education, important infrastructure. We're going to continue to make these investments so that not only will you have quality social services, but more importantly, you will manage those social services yourself, because we are investing in a human transformation so that your doctors, your nurses, your engineers will come directly from within your communities. These are the real investments we are making. And let me pause here to just give you an idea. I will just use the example of two sectors to show you how this transformation is taking place across our country. If you look at health, for example, in Region 1, when we look at the period, because we have to assess from where we came, when we look at the period 2020, when we came back into office, this is what we met. Between 2015 and 2020, in Region 1, I'm going to go through all the regions, 100% of our neonates with complications had to be referred outside of Region 1. Less than 50% of medical supplies was available for your citizens and your communities. In Region 1, we had less than 23 community health workers. We had 0 surgeries conducted in the region, 0 ophthalmology surgeries conducted, 0 facilities, 0 facility with vaccine refrigerator, 0 oxygen generation production, and 0 telemedicine facilities. And my friends, it was under Dr. Jagdeo presidency that we built one of the most modern ophthalmology centers in Berbice, not only for Guyana, but for citizens across this region. We did it without oil. And in 5 years, that facility was shut down. We had to come back and rebuild that facility. And today that facility is doing thousands of surgeries, not only for Guyana, but for the CARICOM region. So this is what, and I'm only going to give you 2 sectors examples. So this is what we met in 2020. %90 of all critical pregnancy, as I said, had to be referred. Today, in 2024, because of the investment we have made in healthcare in Region 1, we had 0 referrals out of the region. The investment in neonatal services, the investment in our health centers, we had 0. Between 2015 and 2020, more than 15% of the patients, even if they need X-ray and ultrasound sometimes, had to be medevaced out of the region. In 2024, because of the investment we made in healthcare in Region 1, less than 1% medevac was needed. This is the qualitative changes. Between the period 2020 and 2025, in Region 1 alone, we've invested in health care for your communities in more than 16 ATVs, 6 ambulances, pickups, minibuses, motorbikes, and more than 25 boats and engines. That is investment in healthcare to move patients, to move health workers alone in Region 1. My dear friends, if we look at drugs and medical supplies, between 2015 to 2019, according to the records, during that period, drugs and medical supplies availability in Region 1 was less than 30%. Less than 30%. Today, between the period 2021 and 2024, we had more than 95% drugs and medical supplies availability. This is your record. You should be proud of this, because it is under your leadership in the villages and communities that you are also achieving these groundbreaking development and advancement. And I want you to applaud yourself this morning for this enormous development. Training of healthcare professionals. Not only are we investing in the infrastructure in Region 1, during the period 2015 to 2020, less than 60 healthcare professionals were trained. And this is not nurses and doctors. This is the continuous training. Our hinterland healthcare workers was never the priority between 2015 and 2020. Less than 60. Today, between 2021 and 2024 alone, we have trained more than 330 healthcare workers. Let us take the Maburuma Hospital as an example. The Maburuma Regional Hospital, for the entire period between 2015 and 2019, we had 15 surgeries. The entire period at the Maburuma Hospital, between 2015 and 2019, we had 15 surgeries. In last year alone, at this hospital, we had 570 surgeries. And I applaud our health workers also who are serving in these regions. These are the facts. This is the reality. This is what none of us can escape. The factual position. At Maruka District Hospital, between 2015 and 2020, we had 0 surgery. With the investment we have made, today we have had 85 elective surgeries at this hospital in 2024 alone. In Region 1 alone, over 10,000 people of your residents were tested, had their eye tests completed. And 7,012 of your residents in Region 1 received the free spectacles after those tests were completed. Almost 1,000 women were screened for HPV. We have now in Region 1 56 vaccination sites across the region. 56 vaccination sites. Between 2015 and 2019, we didn't have any oxygen plants in Region 1. Today, we are generating 2,000 large and 1,050 small cylinders as of January 2024 of oxygen right in the region. Oxygen is now distributed to 10 additional sites in this region. These are the developments that we talk about. We have 17 telemedicine sites. When you look at malaria, In the last 4 years, we have seen more than 50% reduction in malaria cases when compared, not even to 2020, when compared to 2022. And this is the investment in healthcare in this region is going to continue. We're going to complete the new Maruka Regional Hospital. We're going to expand the services of Mabaruma Regional Hospital. We'll have new surgical theaters, CT scans. We'll establish a nursing and allied healthcare training complex in Region 1. We'll be upgrading many of the health clinics into polyclinics. We are going to continue this investment, the expansion of lab services in many villages across the region, the implementation of the electronic health record system, the establishment of a regional pharmaceutical bond. We're going to expand the transportation network for patients. We're going to build more accommodation for doctors, nurses, and medical practitioners. And by 2030, we're going to eliminate malaria in this region. That is Region 1. Let us look, and I'm going to give you 2 sectors, but it's important that we do this today. Let us look at Region 7, and I see the Toshaos from Region 7 are here. Between 2020 and 2024, what have we done? We've invested billions of dollars in the healthcare system in Region 7. We have added more than 45 pieces of different forms of transportation for the easy movement of medical practitioners and patients. Between 2015 and 2019, you had less than 45% drugs and medical supply available in the region. Less than 45%. Today, between 2020 and 2024, you had 85% availability of drugs and medical supplies. In 2020, we had 2 annual outreaches within this region, health outreaches, 2, benefiting 1,500 patients. Last year, in 2024, we had 24 health outreaches benefiting more than 9,000 patients. We have expanded the services available in this region by leaps and bounds. We have added new medical specialty, both in equipment and in human resources, to this region. 43 new community health workers were trained and added to the staff. More nurses, more doctors, more patient care assistants, and most of which came directly from your communities in your region. We invested in their training. We invested in their development. My friends, we're going to continue to invest in healthcare in this region, not only at the health centers, making them polyclinics, not only expanding the array of services, but ensuring that we build a state-of-the-art hospital in Bartica. We're going to invest more in transportation, more in training and human resource development to ensure that you have quality health care. When you look at Region 9, let's take a look at Region 9. Between the period 2015 and 2020, you had 0 surgeries at Aishalton and Anai. 0 ophthalmology surgeries were conducted. Ophthalmology surgeries were conducted. 0 facilities with vaccine refrigerators. zero oxygen generation production, and zero facilities with telemedicine. That was the record 2015 to 2020. In 2020, when you look now, between 2015 and 2020, 90% of all critical pregnancy had to be transferred out of the region. Today, less than 2% need to be transferred out of the region. Between 2015 and 2020, 39% of patients required medical evacuation to the GPHC. In 2024, this dropped from 39% to 3% because of the investment we are making, the improvement in the services, the quality of services. Drugs and medical supplies in Region 9. Availability of drugs and medical supplies between 2015 and 2019 was 45%. Today, it is 90%. There were zero, these very people who claim to care, they had zero specialist outreaches in this region between 2015 and 2020. In 2024 alone, we had 8 specialist outreaches reaching 55,000 people across this region. And let me give you some striking stats. Between 2015 and 2019, 0 nursing assistants were trained, 0 MLT, 0 hybrid professional nursing, 0 nursing, 0 malaria, trained personnel, 0 healthcare leadership training, 0 physician leadership training, 0 PCA, 0 vector control field assistant training, 0 NICU nurses training between 2015 and 2019. 0! Between 2020 and 2024, we have trained more than 550 of your residents in these areas. Between 2015 and 2019, there was 0 surgeries at the Lethem Regional Hospital. Between 2024, in 2024 alone, from 0, we did 1,216 surgeries at the Lethem Hospital. Today, the services of the Lethem Hospital are of such high and exceptional quality that we are now taking record number of patients from Brazil getting their surgeries done here in Guyana. It was the reverse before. These are the real facts on the ground. Driven, yes, by the vision and ideas and hard work of the PPP civic government, but importantly, implemented by the strong leadership of our health workers, our community workers, our regional assets, and you, the community leaders. This is not our celebration. I am not giving you these important facts as a celebration of this government. It is a celebration of us as a country. It's a celebration of us as a people. It is a celebration of our health workers. It is a celebration that we should and must be proud of. My friends, eye tests and spectacles in Region 9. Almost 2,000 persons would have benefited from spectacles. Today, we have 25 vaccination sites, which include a regional cold storage facility. Today, we are generating oxygen right in the region, 2,100 large and 1,050 small cylinders. These are the investments that we are making. The malaria test positivity rate has dropped significantly. We had a 53% reduction in malaria cases. And we're going to continue this investment in Region 9 with the completion of the new Lethem Regional Hospital that will include new surgical theaters, CT scans, etc. A new regional pharmaceutical and medical supplies bond, a new medical school for healthcare professionals. Our nurses will be trained right there. Expansion of the services of the district hospital with the 5 core specialties. Expansion of telemedicine, implementation of our electronic health record system, expansion of emergency services system, graduating health centers into polyclinics. These are the investments that we will continue to make. And I want to assure you that for every single sector, I can give you these records. But I'm only going to do health and education today, because over the next 5 years, over the next 5 years, but over the next 5 days also, on that note, let us all raise our golden arrowhead. Let us all raise our golden arrowhead. And I want you to give a big wave to our friends and neighbors in Venezuela and tell them every single square inch belongs to all of us. I'm watching the international community lift those golden arrowhead for us. Thank you very much. My friends, and I will now turn my attention to Region 8. In Region 8, basic things like X-ray and ultrasound, almost 50% was referred out of the region. We had almost 40% of all patients had to be medevac out of the region. 0 surgeries were conducted between the period 2015 and 2020. Today, what do we have? Let me give you one example. In 2020, 360 cases were referred to GPHC. Today, 180 only, half was referred. And 94 persons were referred to the regional hospital at Madhya. When you look at transportation, again the same story. Massive investment in transportation to support quality health care. Between 2015 and 2020, you had 55% availability of medical supplies. Today, between 2020 and 2024, the average availability of medical supplies and medicines was 93%. 93%. In 2020, you had 2 annual outreaches. Today, we have a minimum of 4 annual outreaches across the region. When you look at decentralized training for community health workers, nursing assistant, MLT, and a hybrid professional nursing, between 2015 and 2019, we had 0 persons being trained. 0. In the last 2 years alone, we have trained 136 persons. In 2020, we had 0 surgeries done annually. Today, in 2023, we had 24 at Madhya performed for the first time. 24 elective surgeries performed for the first time right there in Madhya. And 23 at the Madhya District Hospital in 2024. Between 2015 and 2019, we had 0 ophthalmology surgeries. Today, we have 26. Quality health care for our citizens there in Region 8. And this story continues for every single sector. In Region 8, you can be assured, you can trust us, to ensure the completion of the new Cato Hospital, the upgrade of the Madhya District Hospital with ICU services, 24-hour operating theater, and an emergency service upgrade. We'll have the upgrade of Monkey Mountain. Dozens of villages across the region will see upgrade from clinic to polyclinics. We will have the implementation of telemedicine, electronic health record system, as we continue to build quality health care for the people of region number 8. Today, when we look at education, it's another big story. Another big story of transformation and development. And I just want to give you some quick highlight into education. When you look at, let's start with teachers training and capacity building. As of December 2024, 83% of all teachers across regions 1, 7, 8, and 9 were fully trained. 83%. And we are working to make this 100%. Importantly, this 83% is a transformative increase from 2020. In 2020, we had less than 43% trained teachers in hinterland, in the hinterland communities. At the end of 2024, we have 83%. 83%. When you look at new recruits, the percentage of increase in new recruits of trained and available teachers in the hinterland community is more than 318%. More than 318%. The total number of hinterland teachers today stand at 2,435. Most of whom come from your own villages and communities. This is your transformation to celebrate. Let me hear you celebrate your transformation. We are happy that as a government, we are able to facilitate such a massive transformation. But at the end of the day, it is your accomplishment. But as the chairman of the National Toshaos Council, Toshaos Derek, as you said, and who am I to doubt such an honorable man? We must remember who facilitated the transformation. We must remember who we can trust to continue such transformation. When you look at student transportation enhancement, and I'm not talking about the transportation we give to the villages. This is directly given to the education system. We had almost 100 transport facilities handed over directly to villages to help children to get to school. And this is outside of the transportation allowance, and because we gave a grant that was taken away from you, that we give you back. And we must not be shy about it. We must not be shy about it, because it's a statement of fact. It's not a fallacy or a fantasy or a dream. It was a reality that there was a government in this country under the brand of APNU, AFC, and the others that extracted from your children's pocket monies that the People's Progressive Party put in their pocket without oil and gas. Today, we have the highest attendance in schools across the hinterland. We have more hinterland students transitioning to secondary education. That is why we're investing to ensure that you will have universal access to secondary education. And more importantly, there is a reason, and let me give you maybe the starkest understanding of what our investment in transportation would have done for the hinterland communities. Today, 60% of all our new nurses in a nursing program, in a nursing assistant program, are indigenous Guyanese, our Amerindian brothers and sisters. And that did not happen by accident. That did not happen by accident. That happened because we were able to invest in their secondary education. So now they have the opportunity to get the entry requirement into the nurturing program, into the medical program, into the education program, into the army, as officers, as cadets, because we made the investment, we made it possible, and you made use of the opportunity because you are good people. Because you are people who understand development and appreciate development, and you make the best use of the opportunities that are before you. My dear friends, when you look at textbooks, you know, between the period 2015 and 2020, we visited communities all across this country. We visited communities all across this country. And one of the big concerns was that you didn't have textbooks, your children didn't have textbooks. Textbooks were not available in the schools. Let me tell you what we have done in the last 4 years. We have put in your children's hands in the hinterland alone 1,890,000 textbooks, valued $1 billion. 1,890,000 textbooks we have placed in the hands of your children. This is what caring and loving looks like and feels like. This is the reality. This is the truth. These are the facts. Inescapable. Inescapable. My friends, when you look at ICT access and training, today we have 158 hinterland schools connected to high-speed internet using low Earth orbiting satellite technology. And we're going to continue this investment. And this matters because it's part of equity. We have, in the last 4 years, built 79 new schools. We have, in the last 4 years, built 79 new schools in hinterland communities. We have renovated completely 27. And if that was not good enough, this year stands out because we have 54 schools under construction across our hinterland communities. And when we speak about universal secondary education, we are not speaking in a vacuum. Out of those, 16 are new secondary schools. 16 are new secondary schools. When you look at the Guyana Learning Channel, because of the investments that we have made in Region 1 alone, we have 53 schools connected and more than 11,000 children connected to the Guyana Learning Channel. And this was a channel that we invested in without oil and gas. Without oil and gas. In Region 7, we have 37 schools connected, benefiting more than 7,000 children. In Region 8, 30 schools connected, benefiting more than 3,000 children. In Region 9, 54 schools connected, benefiting almost 8,000 students. This is what real development looks like and feels like. And we know that our Amerindian villages and communities are a reading population. And whilst digital technology and e-libraries, well, now it's changing because many universities and the new norm is to go back to book libraries. We've invested, and today we have 70% of our schools across the hinterland having their own libraries. We are not speaking about development and transformation in a vacuum. We can point to every sphere of national life and demonstrate to you how we have invested and what the investment would have led to. We can demonstrate to you the benefits for every citizen and every community. Your presidential grant last year was about $395 million. This year, your presidential grant altogether would be more than $532 million Guyana dollars. So that tells you already you have an increase. And over the coming 5 days, we'll be listening to you as we implement more and more measures to enhance your life and livelihood. My friends, let us look at what we will continue to do with you. I spoke about financial empowerment, social transformation. I give you some examples. But importantly, we want to continue this project of building the village economy, building and diversifying the village economy. This is what is going to lead to true sustainability. This is what is going to create a robust environment for development. This is what is going to create futuristic opportunities for the people in your villages. But as we build these village economies, important is your cultural expression. We're going to put more resources to not only secure, but to promote your cultural expression. Because the cultural expression of our indigenous peoples are a foundational pillar of our nation and what our nation is built on. We're going to continue to invest in your transportation and infrastructure. I was speaking to the ministers of housing, and every single community now want investment in their own housing schemes. And there's nothing wrong with that. When I was a technician and then a cabinet minister, right here at the National Toshaos Conference, the then president placed an idea of communities making it easier for us to have more centralized services like water and power by building in a community style. Today, you yourselves are requesting from the ministry such investment. This is because of the transformation that is taking place, and you want to be participating in every level of the transformation. Today, I always joke and say one of my first meetings in the Amerindian community as a technician, the biggest request was for cutlass and file. That is where we came from. The biggest request was for a cutlass and a file. Today, we must celebrate that with this government, we can ask for concrete road, asphalt road, tractors, ATVs, health centers, police stations, but not only ask for it, but know that you will get it under the People's Progressive Party civic government. Let me give you a joke. I'm not good at jokes, but let me try. But this is not a joke. This is a fact. I want to ask the leader something this morning. Growing up, I know the Prime Minister, Anil, actually you're a countryman, I don't know if you're a countryman. But those who grew up in the countryside, there are stories of neighbor stealing neighbor duck or fowl. And when the neighbor steal the neighbor duck and fowl, PM, why are you laughing? What they will do is that they will cook the duck and fowl. And they will give the neighbor who they stole from some of the gravy. Now today we have a more scientific approach to this thing. Some people are coming in the name of philanthropy. But it's the same concept. They come in the name of philanthropy. They steal 10 million US dollars, which is how much billion? $10 billion. No, you bring this thing down. You're calculating the interest and the penalty. But imagine you steal. Oh my, you're slow on this thing. Imagine you steal $10 billion. You didn't pay $10 billion in your taxes. And then you decide, I love you. I am now in philanthropy. And I give you some gravy. That makes sense? You ain't giving no meat or no bone. You're giving the gravy. And then you say, it's philanthropy. My God, have mercy on thy soul. That is not philanthropy. That is exactly what it is, the old-time dog thief. I mean, it's a statement of fact. Let us be real for one moment. Let us be real for one moment. Your development and our development is at stake. This is not guesswork. This is a daily grind. You know it as leaders in your community. Let us not gamble our future away. You're strong leaders. You're independent thinkers. My friends, let us look at cultural expansion, the transformation that we'll continue to invest in. investing in your transport system, investing in your physical infrastructure. We're going to support, and I want to make this very clear, because you are religious communities. The church, the temples, and the mosques, and every other religious institution plays a key and critical role in our community. And most of you are Christians. And you know that a part of faith, a strong part of faith, is giving your tithes to the church, supporting the work of the church. But I believe, and we in this government believe too, that as our country grow in material richness, spiritual richness, and human richness, that a country also must support our religious organizations. That a country must support our churches, our temples, and our mosques, because they play an important role in the social, moral, and civil fabric of our society. And one of the things that we will do is that we will work with our religious community in transferring resources directly to them to help them in their work. This is what love is. This is what building a one Guyana on strong grounds is. So whilst spiritually you have your individual responsibility, your family responsibility, and your community responsibility, we in this government are going to take national responsibility as we move this country forward in supporting our religious communities. We're going to invest to ensure the economic diversification of your communities, high quality, high speed connectivity of your villages, your children, your homes. You can trust us to disburse directly to you resources from the LCDS. Increases in your grants, presidential allowances, support to your children, the elderly, and women. You can trust us to increase such support in successive People's Progressive Party civic government. And important to you is security. Security is very important. And we had about 250 requests from Toshaos, leaders, and other village elders, or persons recommended from the villages for firearm, shotgun license mostly, for the protection of the villages. And this is an issue that is raised. I am pleased to tell you today that every one of those applications was processed, and you will get those licenses to take back in the villages. Training. We'll continue to expand the array of training. We'll invest in bringing more business and entrepreneurial opportunities. Marketing and product development for your tourism. We're going to set aside specific resources under the Ministry of Tourism for hinterland marketing and promotion. For your direct village, eco-tourism and other tourism facility will have direct marketing budget, separate and apart from the rest of the country. And as the process of constitutional reform and reform of the Amerindian Act continues, we're going to ensure that you lead this process through consultation with you. through working with you to ensure that your voices form the basis of the law. Your priorities are reflected in the legislation. Because laws are made to reflect the aspirations of the country and the people. Laws are not made to be on paper and on shelves. They are made to stimulate development, advance development, protect, ensure a just system. These are the things that we have to invest in. These are the things that are important to us. And I'm just giving you a few highlights. I can go to my speech now. But I know we have 5 days together. And I would leave the rest for the time we will spend together over the next 5 days. But I want to encourage you to be strategic. For us to look at the big picture. For us, because we are listening to you here about the future too. For us to work together on developing that holistic plan that you can trust us to support you in achieving. That you can trust the People's Progressive Party civic government to supporting you in achieving. Together, we shall rise. Together, we are stronger. Together, we are better. And whilst there are few in our society who would shout a message to divide, 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 our message in the People's Progressive Party civic is clear. Unite, 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 unite. And Annette, like Dave Martin would want us to say, whilst they say hate, 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 we say in our message in the People's Progressive Party civic, love, 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 love abundantly. Love abundantly. Love with all your heart. And keep all those unwanted rabbits out of the field of corn. You're biblical people, and you understand what I mean. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make His face to shine upon all of us. God bless Guyana. God bless our indigenous leaders. God bless our indigenous people. Thank you.
So thank you, Your Excellency, for reminding us who has driven transformation across all sectors and who our indigenous leaders and all Guyanese can trust to continue it. And ladies and gentlemen, who better to showcase our indigenous talent than our head of state himself, proudly wearing a full outfit by local designer Matapi Design, recently featured at the Origins Fashion Festival, along with the traditional YY headdress and chain. And later this week, we will celebrate World Turtle Day with the official launch of the Arya Takes a Swim audio series and audio book in both English and the Arawak languages, supported by EMC and the First Lady of Guyana. And that book will feature voices from Pakuri, including Toshaos Alvaro Simon. We'd like to thank High Commissioner Miller and the UK government for supporting this book, and we encourage all of us to ensure that we get a copy. And we acknowledge, of course, as the President just did, our environmental champion, Annette Arjun Martins, who's done incredible work in turtle conservation. Not forgetting our champion of the environment, Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, for pioneering the LCDS, and we're happy he's with us today as well. To officially close the opening ceremony, we'll now invite the Vice Chair of the NTC and Toshaos of Bethany, Sonia Lachman, for the vote of thanks.
Pleasant afternoon to you all. Thank you, Michelle. All protocols observed. On behalf of the National Toshaos Council, I rise with heartfelt gratitude to deliver this vote of thanks as we conclude the opening session of our 2025 NTC conference. First, to His Excellency, Honorable Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, for reaffirming his commitment to Amerindian development and governance. We appreciate the partnership that continues to grow between our national leadership and our Amerindian communities. Secondly, thanks to our Prime Minister, Honorable Brigadier Mark Phillips, Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, Vice President, Minister of Amerindian Affairs, Minister Pauline Sukai, and all other cabinet members, PSs, heads of agencies, commissioners, our performers, the media, our volunteers, and other guests for gracing us with your presence this morning. To my fellow Toshaos colleagues, senior councillors, CDC chairs who have traveled from every region of our beautiful country, your dedication and participation are what give this forum its strength and credibility. You remind us that governance is not about positions or titles, but about people, our values, and our visions. To the organizing committee from the National Toshaos Council and the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, NTC executive members, our PS, Ryan Tulsiram, MDOs, CDOs, and all those who work behind the scenes, your hard work, planning, and tireless effort have ensured that this conference begins on a solid and professional one. We thank you deeply for making this possible. Once again, thank you all for your presence, your contributions, and your commitment to advancing the cause of Amerindian peoples. May the rest of the conference be productive, collaborative, and grounded in the values that unite us. Thank you, and may we all continue to serve with wisdom and strength. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And now we will have the official photos with His Excellency, with Minister, before we leave the dome. We'll begin with the NTC executive, since you're on the floor, and we will ask our videographers and photographers to get in position. We'll go in this order. We'll begin with the NTC executive, then we will facilitate the Toshaos and leaders from the respective regions, Region 1, then 2, then the coastal regions together, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll have 7, 8, 9, and then 10 in that order. And once the photos are finished, we will then take our leave from the dome. So we are preparing now for the official conference photos from the opening ceremony. Could we ask the NTC executive to assemble just behind the main banner, together with the other Toshaos who are in various parts of the room. You can assemble together by regions now, if you can use the space downstairs to come together so we can move through this as efficiently as we can. So this is the NTC executive with His Excellency, with Vice President, with Minister Sukai. Could Region 1 Toshaos assemble next, please, and take position as soon as we are finished with this photo, and thank members of the Diplomatic Corps who will leave from one of the exit points. Okay, Region 1, can we move in quickly, please, to the stairs for the photo? Please come. Region 1. This one's one. Region. Yes, the Region 1 Toshaos. Are we missing? Please get it. You know yourselves, please, Toshaos, senior councillors. Let's. We still have Region 1 coming down. Region 1, can you, Region 2, we'll ask that you come stand here because we'll need to start seeing all of you to make sure we don't miss anybody from the photo. So Region 2, if you can come just in front of my podium to allow Region 1 for their photo. So 2 is here, and then the coastal regions, 3, 4, 5, 6 will follow.
The leaders going to CDC councils,
So we've got a big showing from Region 1 because we have our Toshaos, our senior councillors, our CDC chairs, the entire Region 1 delegation, hence the big photo. Okay, so a request that we go sub-district from Region 1. So Matakai will take the Matakai sub-district first then, Minister. Please don't go too far for if your part hasn't been called as yet. Please, Mabruma sub-district, Toshaos. And now we move to Maruka. Please move into position on the stairs. We do, or we do. Not this one here. We're wrapping up with the Region 1 official photo to make way for the Region 2, so we're all together, Region 2. Good. Coastal Toshaos. The Coastal Toshaos, can you come in front of my podium? 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you will go next. Then we'll do 7, 8, 9, and 10 by sub-districts as well. Yes, we continue. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. And 7, you can now come into position in front of us. You have to help me. Starting with the Lower Maz, in front of my podium, please, Lower Maz. Lower Maz Toshaos right here, so you will go. Let's do Lower and Middle Mazaruni, please. For Region 7, Lower and Middle Mazaruni will come up now. Yes. Let's wrap up Region 7, Upper Maz. And 8, can you come down now in front of the podiums? We see you. Toshaos, please, please. Upper Maz, it's you now. Who's missing? These are 8. District 1, Region 8. District 2, please, for Region 8, we need you in front of the podium. 9. 9, can you come to the floor? All of Region 9, I think we can fit. Come down to the floor so we can assemble. Okay. All of 8, anybody else from 8? Let's do 8 all together. Okay. You can leave your bags to Toshaos if it's complicating when you go on the stairs. Feel free to leave your bags, it's safe. You'll pick it up when you're done with the photos. 9. Now we go to Region 9. North Pacaraimas and, okay, we're breaking North. Let's do North. Region 9. North and Central. North and South Pacaraimas. So Toshaos. Central and South Central, you take your positions because you'll go next. Central. Central and South Central. Central, South Central, then Deep South. Oh, everyone. All right, let's go to Toshaos. In the interest of time, we do have President, Vice President, Prime Minister. Prime Minister has another engagement just now. And then we'll have, there's a request to do the Qatar Culture Group with the President. So you will go immediately after the Region 9 Toshaos. So these are all the Region 9. Any other Region 9s, please? Yeah, everybody. Let's do everybody. Everybody for Region 9 is gone. All right, and now we will ask Region 10, whole Kada. Region 10, and immediately after that, they've got a presentation that they'd like to make to the President. They have their names emblazoned on their shirts with their villages in case they get mixed up in the crowd. Region 10, let's move quickly, please. And immediately after Region 10's presentation, the Kada Culture Group would like a picture with President and Vice President and Prime Minister and Ministers. We'll facilitate that. Any other individual photos you will take during the week. Presentation, there's a presentation to the President. So which of the Toshaos will be doing the presentation? Kara, could you come a little closer because you will go up immediately after. And our final photo, thank you, Region 10, for that beautiful shirt for the President. And the Vice President as well. P.S., apparently you also have to get a presentation, no? Later on, okay. So, Toshaos, keep your shirt. We will do that. Thank you, Region 10. Very thoughtful gestures. Kader, you will do the final photo now, please. As we thank President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Minister for your patience to ensure that all of our Toshaos got their respective photos. So Toshaos, remaining in the room as we wrap up the final photo, you can now make your way downstairs for lunch. Immediately after President and entourage leaves the room, you can then So that concludes the activity in the Dome for the first part of day one. We will now have lunch and reconvene in the afternoon. The NTC will guide you to Toshaos according to the agenda. Oh, PM, sorry, we'll do our presentation from Region NTC. Oh, is this NTC or